Hello, everybody, and welcome to Business 7070. This is International Business Strategy. This course is a very essential course because what it does, it gives you a sense of what international business is all about and what you need to be cognizant of before even going into trying to strategize your business or anybody else's business expansion into the global arena. Now, this is very important because what you're going to realize in this class is that how essential and important culture is, and what cultural significance you need to be aware of, and what are the cultural aspects that determine your strategy making decisions. So you do need to understand what international business is all about from a very different perspective that you might not have realized up to this point. This is a very interesting and eye-opening experience if you follow the rules of engagement. Now, with that said, let me just take a moment and take a look at the course and see what the course is all about and what one needs to do in order to be able to succeed in this course. Now, always a course starts with a syllabus, so make sure you do look at our syllabus and see what the course syllabus is. It tells you what our course learning outcomes are, and yes, it tells you what you have to do. All in all, the course has two threads. One is the textbook thread, in which you need to understand, practice, discuss, and the other one is research. Now, the course in reality entails you doing one case study that is divided to two, so case study 1 and 2, but all in all is about one subject, and it's a group case study. And so you do it within a group, and the second is a paper, a final paper, which is per student, and you need to tell me what you're interested in and determine what your title is, and then from there, just so that's what you will do. You will do your title and keystone papers. And if you're wondering what keystone paper is, it's a paper that you build your title on, usually 1 or 2 papers, and it should be fairly recent, should be not older than a year. And that's what is the basis upon which you would like to further investigate a particular subject. Now, we'll discuss that later. Now, for such a title, if it's approved by me, then you will go ahead and do a justification. And in justification, you will make sure that we have an understanding. Again, your justification should tell me why you're interested in and what are the bases upon which you're going to build your research on. And then obviously in week 4, you will be putting together your literature review as well as your research approach. That's 10 to 12 pages, keep in mind. The pace at first goes very fast up to week 4. So by the time you're at week 4, you already have identified minimum 15 references, but by now, I think on average I've seen students do about 50 different references. So why? Because you do need to show that you know what you're talking about. So you might want to do some sort of a bibliography in which it tells me that you understand the basis and the basics of what you're trying to do and how you're planning to further that particular investigation. And by week 5, you need to provide your first draft of your final paper. That's almost a complete work. And you might ask, what, in 5 weeks we're going to do a paper? Yes, that's what you're going to do. In 5 weeks, one paper. It's a draft. And hopefully I can give you some sort of a feedback upon which now you have until week 8 to finalize your research paper and provide me your paper. For those of you who've not done this before, let me tell you something. Start early, continue working on it, persist, because it gets late very early in the course, because an 8-week course is like going to take a lot of effort for you to be able to manage 30 to 40 pages, 6,000 words. So I don't want to scare you. It's nothing scary. As long as you do your work, other people have done it, and some people have done great. Now, it's up to you to get used to it. If it's your first experience coming up with your first paper, talk to those students who've done this before. They loved it, even though it was very tough. So make sure that you understand the requirements and adhere to them. That way it makes it fun. So it's not too difficult. In reality, it's your book, which you're reading, and you're doing a couple of uh, case studies along the same line of the course learning outcomes, and you're doing some research discussions. And these research discussions are partly done individually, so the whole class gets to be involved, and partly done through a teamwork in which you within your team have to do it. If it's done individually, it's due on Wednesday night. And if it's done within a group, then because you don't need to have that first post and replies, then it's due by the end of the week, namely Sunday. Now, this group work, both on a research discussion as well as on your case study, it's going to get you familiar with your other students and get you going, because it's very interesting for you to hear it from other people's perspective. That's why it's a good idea for you to attend the course. Even though if you have taken this course online, my suggestion is attend the course, participate in the discussions, and you'll be amazed how much you learn. And I'll be more than happy to give you time to discuss. And uh, it is through discussions that you get to understand what's happening and what you need to do. So please make sure, and also I'm sure you're going to be watching this video. I will send you an SMS in which you can just watch this, not older one. This introduction is for this session. By the way, every session we tend to change our courses to keep it up to date, and we'll be looking at post-COVID-19, the effect of COVID-19 on issues related to international business. Make sure you have the book. Buy the book as early as possible, because right now, as you can see, your first engagement, your first research discussion is about something that is at page 100, right? So you have to go ahead and look at Facebook's internet.org initiatives. Please read carefully my guidance for your RD. That way you stay within the limits of what is expected, and post early. By the way, if you don't post, you don't know what other person has done, because posts will only allow you to see other people's posts if you've done your post, and you are required to post by Wednesday night. Make sure you do that if you want to get full point. And as I said, if you don't post, you don't know what other people have been discussing. Wednesday night every day you lose 10% of your grade. You don't want to do that. Make sure you post in time. That way we can really get a research discussion going. This is not just fill in the blank. This is real, honest to goodness research. And my job is to prepare you for the eventuality, which is your dissertation. Now, with that said, as you can see, there are some resources. If I include, let's say right now, as you notice, your research discussion is about Facebook, internet.org. I put two critical videos here that if you watch, you see that it's not as one would expect now. Please watch these things. Make sure you do your own extra research to understand what's happening. These are up-to-date issues that are relevant as of today. So if you do that, it's going to be much easier and you're going to enjoy the course. Now, as I have said, quizzes and research discussions and the so-called case study will bring the book home, and you get a good understanding of the issues being discussed. Now, I will also use sometimes papers for you to take a look at, but as I said, make sure you do watch these videos. Make sure I see that you have watched these videos through your discussions. Now, as you can see, even I was just last time when people looked at what has happened in a country like Botswana, no one knew how much of an effect this would have had. So you can see a lot of resources are available for you. Make sure you watch them, make sure you participate actively. This is not an easy course. Let me tell you, don't come later on complaining. Start early. You are required to spend a certain amount of time. If you do not spend that time, you will not be able to do good. So please take my advice. Understand it's a 45-hour contact. It's, you are expected to do based on what you are asked, like about 17 to 20 hours a week you are required to spend for this course. If you do that, you'll find this course interesting, you'll find it exciting, and it will add value to you, and it will prepare you to eventually get ready to do your dissertation. Keep in mind, you do not get a DBA degree. You become a doctor. And to become a doctor means you have to work hard, no pain, no gain. But for those students who really have gone through this practice and they were open to this experience, talk to them. They loved it, they feel they are enhanced, and the kind of education you're receiving here is second to none. No pain, no gain. Enjoy. See you Tuesday night, 5:30.